Hey, I'm Bobby Grenier, and I'm here today to show you how to make a Google form. And how to create a Google form is pretty darn easy. I think you'll get the hang of this real fast. Alright, let's get started. I'm going to show you how to create just a basic Google form. The idea is that you might use it for assessment purposes. So the first thing you would do is to go up into the URL up here, up into that space, and just type forms.new. And when you do that, it's going to pop a window with a theme, a form that you can change the theme, you can customize the form, and you can use that form to capture responses. So I've already opened a new form. Let me just open that from right there, and I will just come back here and shrink myself a little bit out of the way. Alright, so the first thing is that the form needs a title. So first thing I do is I come up and I give it a title. So let's just say capture info. Just to give it a name. You can name it whatever you want. When you're done naming it, click off. I'm just going to click right here in this area, and then you see how the name automatically changed. I need to give the form a description, so I'll just say this is a test. You can put as much information there as you want. So now and again, I'm just going to click off. So now I have my my form has a name, and it has the kind of a description or maybe instructions that I want it to have. That would go right there. So let's do the first thing before we start actually creating the form. Let's go up here where that's the art palette, and let's customize the theme. So here's my choices. I can choose an image, I can choose colors, and let's say I want to do something different than this purple. Try the blue. Do you like that? If you don't like that, try a color. See, just try them out. It won't make any difference. And how about that one? That's a pretty neutral. I can also change the background color. You see as I change colors how these colors down here change. So let's say I wanted to go something a little darker, a little easier on the eyes for the kids. So I can do that. But if I had chosen, let's say I chose this color, I could also do the same thing. I can come down here and choose a darker. I kind of like this neutral palette, so I'm going to go with that. Alright, but let's say I want to put an image at the top. So here I have a choice. I can choose from what Google gives me. I can upload, and I can go with photos. So I'm going to take a look here at what Google is giving me. You could just scroll through this a little bit and figure out what meets your needs, if any of these do. If they don't, then you can create your own. Kind of like that one. So I clicked on it. You see how it put the square around it. And now I want it to go into my form. I just click insert. There it is. So now I have an image at the top to kind of get the kids' attention. I will have the title here, and I'll have directions here. And now let me scroll down a little bit. So the next thing I want to do is to actually create the test. So let's just make something up, like what's your favorite food? And let's say I want to make it multiple choice. Well, scroll this up a little so you can see I have options. If I want them to write a short answer, I can let them write a paragraph. I can make it multiple choice. I could do check boxes if I wanted to make more than one item, like they could pick several foods. I could put it in a drop down so they just pick one. So I've got a lot of choices in what I want to do. And because this is basic, I'm not going to go into any of this stuff down here, because we're just doing a basic form. So I think I'm going to do check boxes. Let's try that. So option 1, just click on it, and I'm going to say pizza. Want to add another option. So I can just click here, and I got option 2. Let's say ice cream. What else? Cookies. Alright, so here I have choices. So let's say that I wanted to make that so that they can check as many as they want. This down here is where it says required. Now, I can check that, and if I do that, what it means is that they have to answer this question. It's not something they can just skip over. In order to be able to submit the form, they have to answer the question. Or you can shut that feature off, and then if they don't want to answer, they don't have to. Let's open up this here and see description, response, validation. Okay, we don't need any of that for just a simple form. I also have the option right here of putting in an image right there. So let's take a look at Google search. And let's look for like pizza. There, see how it started? I just started to spell the word in it. It's helping me along. Ooh, yum. Alright, let's go with that first one. That looks pretty tasty. And now I insert. Of course, I am influencing right now the what they might choose, because that looks pretty good. But maybe you want to see. Maybe that's part of doing the form, is to see, does a picture influence my students or not? Anyhow, oh, it looks like I didn't close my theme options here. Alright. Let me close out of that. So now, here I've got my pizza and my cookies and all of that. So you can add as many different questions as you want to. And every time you want to add a question, you just click that. And it'll, you know, like I can do it right now. There. It just is going to create a whole new section where I get started. Now the last part that we wanted to do was to be able to capture responses. So to do that, you come up here to responses, and then you see that it's accepting responses. And the way we did that was we created a spreadsheet. We clicked on that. We create a new spreadsheet for these responses. So all you have to do is click, and now it exists. And there it's showing you. It's going to capture the time that the form is filled out. It's going to capture the email address automatically of the person filling out the form. So I don't even have to ask them for that. It just will do it. And then it's going to capture their response for their favorite food. So that's done. Let's come back to the form. So now that I have all of that done, I have my questions done. The way that that I share the form, I do not give people this URL. Do not do that. You want to be able to use the send. It's going to create a whole new URL. And you can either email it, you can get the link, or if you're putting it into a website, like a form in a website, this will get you the HTML code. So I want the link. And that's a lot of information. So what I'm going to do is click shorten the link. much easier for me to put that information out there for somebody to see. All I have to do is I can either follow the instructions here, or I can come over here, press copy. If I want this link to go out to my Facebook or to my Twitter account, I can just click those. But for right now, I'm just going to copy it. Alright, and then all I have to do is give my users that link, or my students. I can put that in my Google Classroom. I can put it in an email or a newsletter. And it's that easy to create a Google form. So now each time your Google form is submitted, the data result is captured to the Google Sheet that you created. You will be able to view the results of your Google form assessment when it's done. And the pro tip is to watch for my next tutorial for Google Forms for more ideas, tips, and tricks. Alright. If you'd like to, you can follow me. My website is bobbygrenier.com. My Twitter handle is bobbygrenier. I also have a website called computerbasedlearning.org, which is where I share all kinds of freebies for teachers. And then EduLivestream is a live streaming educational show and podcast that I'm doing. So that's where you can go to get more of me, and more ideas, more tips, more tricks. Thank you for hanging out with me today and learning to do a Google form real quick. Up there in the corner is my Twitter handle, Bobby Grenier, and down here in this side here is my website. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I'd really love it if you would subscribe. Go down below and click the button to subscribe, and click the bell so that you get my notifications. Until next time, see you later. Bye.